nood po ang buong episode na itong ating Ask Arbor. Pakilala po natin ang ating mga speaker for tonight. Please welcome our two ates, Jacqueline, Tayag, and Eloisa. First, let's start with Jacqueline. Ate Jacqueline is licensed pre-planning funeral and cemetery director, licensed funeral director at Pine Ridge Memorial Gardens in Ajax, Ontario. Si Ate Eloisa Ramos is a pre-planning director, licensed cemetery and funeral pre-planner at Glen Oaks Funeral Home and Cemetery at Oakville, Ontario. Kamusta po mga ate?
Mabuti
Mabuti.
naman.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Magandang
Magandang
gabi, Joey, Jacqueline.
Magandang gabi, Ate
Magandang
Eloisa.
gabi. Good evening. Good evening, Eloisa. Good evening, Joey. Good evening po sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan na kasama natin dito sa live seminar. Ako po, you can call me Jackie, Ate Jackie, or Tita Jackie. So, dito lang po kayo at marami kayong matututunan tonight.
Maraming salamat, Tita Jackie. Just a few questions. Taga saan po kayo sa atin? Ate Jackie first and then Ate Eloisa. Taga saan po kayo sa atin?
So, actually, I was born at Makati. Pero tumira ako sa Quezon City. Wala akong province, Joey. Doon lang talaga ako sa Quezon City. So, I'm a Chinese Filipino. So, ang complete name ko is Jacqueline Lee Tayag is my married name.
Oh, I see. I have a very good friend with last name Tayag. Akala ko Pinoy na Pinoy yan, Tayag. Meron na po kayong anak, Ate Eloisa?
Ako po
Are you
ay meron po akong 3 maginoong lalaking anak at may 2 cute na apo.
Oh, wow.
Tita Eloisa.
Kayo po, Ate Jackie, may mga anak na rin?
Oo, grown up na sila. Isang lalaki, isang babae, isang 15, isang 20. Parang kaibigan na lang.
Okay. I have a lot of questions because I'm the most curious cat that you can find. Pero last question, gano'n na po kayo parehong katagal na nagtrabaho at Arbor Memorial? Ate Eloisa.
Ako po ay nag-join sa Arbor Memorial noong September 2013. So, 7 taon na po. Ang aking branch ay sa Glen Oaks, sa Funeral Home and Cemetery sa Oakville.
And ikaw naman, Ate Jackie?
So, I started working at Highland Funeral Home 2010 kasi nga licensed funeral director ako. And then after 2 years ago, nag-join ako sa cemetery side. So, dati ang ginagawa ko is at-need arrangements kasi funeral director ako. And then 2 years ago, nag-join naman ako sa cemetery side. Sa Arbor pa rin. So, in total, 10 taon.
That's awesome. All right. So, let's talk to our speakers right now. Ate Eloisa, what is Arbor Memorial? Please introduce the company to us and talk about the company.
Sure. Ang Arbor Memorial po ay family-owned Canadian company established in 1947. Ang Arbor po actually ang nag-pioneer ng on-site approach na meron na pong funeral home and cemetery in one site. Kami po ang pinakamalaking provider ng cemetery and funeral services sa Canada. Meron po tayong 41 cemeteries, 89 funeral homes, and 27 crematoriums across the country. Actually, ito po yung isa sa mga advantages ng Arbor. Dahil nga po meron kaming cemeteries and funeral homes across the country from the Maritime to the Vancouver Islands. Kung may property po kayo dito sa Toronto, let's say, pag-retire nyo, gusto nyo nasa medyo mainit na lugar, let's say sa British Columbia, we can transfer your property as long as you moved your residence.
Oh, that's so nice. Ate Jacqueline, in the Philippines, we get a memorial plan. What's the difference between a memorial plan and pre-planning?
So, Joey, narinig ko na nga itong memorial plan na to, bata pa ako. So, it's a very popular term in the Philippines that pertains to prepaid services, including the casket of your choice. Ang tawag sa atin, memorial plan. Ang tawag natin dito is funeral or cemetery pre-planning. So basically, wala naman siyang pagkakaiba. Pareho siyang designed for pre-need arrangement ng funeral at saka ng cemetery. Kaya lang magkaiba, kumbaga terminology, magkaiba kasi magkaiba ng bansa. So, pag sinabi natin, ang importante aware tayo na when someone dies in Canada, everything has to be paid in full. So,
Hmm.
at-need arrangement ang tawag dito. Pero kapag ginagawa natin tong arrangement na to ahead of the time, pre-plan arrangement ang tawag dito at yun ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi.
Sounds good to me. Ate Eloisa, ano naman ang mga included in an Arbor cemetery package?
Depende. Depende po sa gusto ng pamilya. Actually po sa ating pagpanaw, may tatlong options tayo to lay our remains to rest. Ang very common po is traditional burial, yung pong body nililibing sa lupa. Ang cremation po, yung pong labi natin ay nagiging abo. At ang pangatlo po, medyo hindi po popular sa Filipino community, ang tawag po ay crypt. Body po siya nililibing pero sa loob siya ng mausoleo. Yung building structure na columbarium ang tawag sa Pilipinas. Ngayon, kung let's say traditional burial ang pipiliin natin, ang kailangan natin bago tayo mailibing, kailangan natin ng lote sa sementeryo or plot. Kailangan natin ng lapida, kailangan natin ng vault, at kailangan din natin ng interment fee. Yun po yung tinatawag na hukay or opening and closing. Ngayon, kung cremation naman po yung na-decide nyo, kailangan din pa rin natin ng space sa sementeryo, either sa lupa, indoor niche, sa loob ng mausoleo, or sa outdoor. Tapos kailangan po natin ng cremation fee, yung pagsunog, kailangan din natin ng urn, yung lalagyan ng abo, at saka ng interment fee rin, yung opening and closing. Whether traditional burial or cremation ang napili ng pamilya, meron po kaming tinatawag na Family Security Benefit Plan na kasama when you sign up with us. Ito po ay exclusive program ng Arbor which includes guaranteed pricing, monthly payment plans, transfer privileges, free child and grandchild protection, perpetual care program, and agreement protection. I know, ang dami po. Kaya could you imagine kung iiwanan natin sa pamilya natin ng pagde-decide at pag-asikaso, it could be too much. Nadodoble po ang grieving ng family natin. Yan lang po.
Definitely, it's nice to just celebrate the life and the good memory with a loved one who passed away during the funeral. Ate Jacqueline, what is included in Arbor's funeral arrangement or services?
So Joey, sa akin medyo mas marami at medyo mas mahaba ng konti. Kasi para maintindihan natin yung inclusions ng package, kailangan nating malaman ano-ano ba yung different packages ng funeral arrangement. Hindi lang ito isang klase o dalawang klase. So may 5 types. Number 1 is traditional service, and then same-day service, and then memorial service, graveyard service, and non-ceremonial service. Gusto ko pong maintindihan ng lahat na iba-iba po ang mga funeral arrangement, 5 klase po ito. So, ipapaliwanag ko briefly para medyo meron tayong sapat na information. So, pag sinabi yung traditional service package, ito ho yung tinatawag natin na 1 day or 2 days viewing. Yung unang araw ho natin will be the viewing day, maximum of 4 hours. The following day is yung ating funeral service at saka yung burial day, yung interment na tinatawag natin. So, pwede ho tayong yung funeral service, pumupunta tayo sa church normally pero hindi ngayong pandemic. So, gagawin natin sa funeral home chapel. So, yung second day, yung 2 days service, viewing ho yun na may dalawang viewing day at saka service yung pangatlong araw. Inclusion ho ng parehong package na to, yung casket, yung flower arrangement is optional. Yung ibang funeral home, meron silang private lounge kung saan nagagather tayo pag viewing. So, nandun yung pagkain, it's a private gathering. And then, pwede rin tayo isama natin sa package yung reception area after the interment. Ginagawa ho din ito ng ibang Filipino, bumabalik sa funeral home for a reception after the burial. So yung second natin, tawag natin is the same day service. Yung difference nila, yung una kong diniscuss is this same day service, everything will happen in one day. Ang viewing natin for 1 hour, yung susunod na gagawin natin, yung service na kaagad, funeral service. Yung pangatlo na gagawin on that day, on the same day, yung burial na, libing na. So everything will be completed in one day. And again, same package ho yun. May casket, meron hong mga guest book, meron tayong online, yung online ano natin, obituary, nandun yung mga details ng funeral service. At saka yung viewing dates. Yung pangatlo ho, very quickly, yung memorial service, kapag cremation package, ang memorial service wala hong casket present during the viewing. Ang present lang doon is the urn. So same package din ang sinabi ko. Nandun ang urn at saka nandun yung mga document, yung mga estate kit, yung mga documentations na kailangan para sa paperworks for the government, kasama ho doon. Pang-apat is a graveyard service. Yun ho yung service na gagawin yon sa sementeryo, walang chapel. So walang funeral home. Yung panglima ho natin is non-ceremonial, which is walang viewing, walang service, diretso na po tayo sa sementeryo kahit cremation or traditional burial.
Well, Ate Loisa, minsan, no, pagka meron tayong kamag-anak na may sakit, we do think about planning for this event. Pero minsan, nagkakataon din na hindi inaasahan. Pero kung hindi inaasahan, why should we think about planning ahead? What are the benefits of planning ahead and how do you suggest how people should be doing this?
Yeah. Ang benefits ng planning ahead ay madami. Ang una po, may iwas po natin ang ating mga mahal sa buhay from stress and uncertainties. Tapos guaranteed ang pricing. Let's say nag-sign up ka ngayon, 20, 30, 40 or 50 years down the road pag gagamitin, ang presyo mo ngayon. Makakaiwas tayo sa inflation. Lalo na ang sementeryo, parang ano yan real estate. Hindi bumababa ang presyo, bagkus tumataas pa. At saka nauubos ang inventaryo. And then makakapili pa po tayo from different options available to suit your taste, your culture, paniniwala, at saka po kung pasok sa budget natin. Sa mag-asawa naman, ay at least kung nagpe-pre-plan kayo, dalawa pa kayong magde-decide. Mangyari po kung wala na yung isa, nandyan na po yung need, may kasama na pong emotion. Families tend to overspend in the end. At saka po yung panghuling advantage is magkakaroon po tayo ng peace of mind na it's just a phone call away. Kapag may nangyari, areglado na. Kaya po, we highly suggest na magplano ng maaga. At kung may budget constraint, ay pwede naman pong hindi muna whole package, pwede naman pong lupa muna or yung niche. So basta yung space sa sementeryo, and then pagbayad na yun, di lapida naman. Pagbayad na yung lapida, di yung vault naman, and so on. So pwede pong hulug-hulugan. Meron po kaming monthly payment terms na up to 48 months to pay sa cemetery side. Yeah.
Maraming salamat, Ate Loisa. Truly, afterlife is a part of life, but we can make it a celebration of life pagka atin silang pinaghandaan. That's right. I like that. Ate Jacqueline, we are under a pandemic lockdown and most of society is really restricted in many ways. In Arbor locations, ano po yung, how does the COVID-19 affected the operations of Arbor Memorial?
Siyempre, Joey, ang top priority ng Arbor is kapakanan ng mga customers at ng empleyado din at the same time. So masusi nating tinututukan ng lahat ng mga directions sa government, kasama na yung mga provincial and national associations. Pinatutupad natin yung mga bagong patakaran o measures sa lahat ng mga branches natin across Canada. Tulad kunyari ng, kung ilan ang tao na dapat sa viewing, sa interment, para naman ma-observe natin yung physical distancing, yung requirement ng pagsusuot ng mask, importante yun. Tapos yung ating mga protective equipments sa bawat funeral home, meron ho tayong mga available na protective equipments sa ating mga staff at guests. Hindi natin papayagang pumasok ang sino man na kababalik lang sa Canada within the last 14 days. Bawal din syempre ang may ubo, lagnat at sipon. Wala munang hugging at saka shaking ng hands. Wala tayong ah, dapat meron tayong mag-fill out tayo ng meron kaming tinatawag na COVID screening form na dapat sagutan ng bawat guest after mag-sanitize ng hand at saka kinukuha namin yung temperature bago pumasok. And then di-disinfect namin yung area namin, yung buong lugar after every appointments. Tapos yung mga interments natin, limitado lang sa pamilya muna ngayon. Meron kaming facility rin, ito importante para sa lahat po ng apektado ng COVID na you've lost your loved one, gusto ko pong malaman ninyo na tuloy pa rin ang viewing natin kasi meron kaming facility na gumagawa ng embalming para naman mag-allow na maka-attend ang mga family natin to pay their final respect.
Well, this last question is for both of you, Ate Jacqueline and Ate Loisa. Ano pa yung mga extra assistance na ina-offer natin sa mga clients during COVID-19?
Actually, ang goal ng Arbor is to provide families with comfort, care, and compassion during this difficult time. Sinisikap pa rin po namin na makipag-ugnayan sa mga pamilya para magkaroon pa din tayo ng options to say goodbye sa mahal natin sa buhay in a meaningful way. Wala pong magiging hadlang sa communication even at this pandemic time dahil pwede po kaming makontak by phone, by text message, online through website, FaceTime, Skype, or Zoom. We can make arrangements through these virtual means in the comfort of your home. Pati po pagpirma ng kontrata, pwede na rin po electronically. And then pwede pa rin po tayo mag-gather intimately while incorporating the ceremony na mahalaga sa pamilya. For example po, we've seen families embrace our live streaming service sa araw ng libing. Families feel connected pa din without coming together in person. Ngayon nga po, even mga relatives natin and friends sa Pilipinas or sa ibang bansa, we are able to bring them into the service through live streaming. Jackie?
Yeah, katulad nga ng sinabi ni Eloisa, so ang Arbor Memorial has 2,500 dedicated, caring, and highly trained staff na magbibigay sa inyo ng walang patid na serbisyo, may pandemic man o wala. Kasama na rin doon yung mga pamilya na apektado ng COVID. So lahat po ng measures, nag-a-adhere po kami sa lahat ng mga measures at nasabi na nga ni Eloisa kung ano yung mga different ways kung papaano ho natin yung mga hindi comfortable, papaano ho natin ma-celebrate yung life at makakapag-pay tayo ng final respect in this time of pandemic.
So truly, pagka planado, everything, we can truly focus on celebrating life. And even during COVID-19 pandemic, there's a lot of protocols in place. And we're pretty modern na rin, no? Yung mga electronic signing. That's very nice to know. Director, let's please play a video for all our audience. Please stay tuned. Let's see.
Hi, I'm Bruce Simpson. At Hadley Memorial Gardens, we are continuing to help our families through this challenging time. Our caring professionals remain devoted to providing for your immediate needs or advanced planning. Please be assured that we are deeply committed to the well-being of our guests and staff. Safety measures are in place, and consultations can be made in person, by phone, or even online through Zoom, FaceTime, or Skype. Even at a distance, you will still receive the same personalized guidance our families have come to expect. So, whenever you need us, we're here to help. Thank you.
I have some questions of my own, Ate Jacqueline. What are some of the decisions to make when a death occurs? Ano bang mga dapat na pagdesisyonan when a death occurs?
That's a very good question, Joey. So gawin nating simple para maintindihan ng lahat. Una sa lahat, kailangan alam natin kung ano yung gusto. May idea tayo kung ano ang gusto ng bawat isa, yung loved one natin, ng asawa, ng magulang natin. Kasi pag dumating yung time na yun, hindi na natin matatanong, hindi na nila tayo matatanong. So importante na dalawa lang naman ang pagdidesisyonan. Ang gusto ba natin ay cremation o traditional burial? Pangalawa, secondly, kailangan alam natin, pag alam na natin kung ano yung final disposition na tinatawag, yun nga yung nabanggit ko na cremation or traditional burial, pipili naman tayo ng viewing package. Ngayon, yung nabanggit ko kanina, meron tayong 1 day or 2 days viewing, yung memorial service, yung same day or graveyard service. Ito yung mga different arrangement na kanina diniscuss ko sa inyo. Thirdly, kung may viewing, yung traditional burial, anong casket? Dalawang klase yun. Wooden casket, metal casket. Kung cremation naman, ano yung saan natin gustong ilibing? Outdoor niche ba? Indoor niche? Anong klaseng urn? Pang-apat, syempre kailan yung viewing? Anong date at saka time ng viewing tsaka interment ang gusto nyo? At lastly, dapat meron tayong, hindi ito decision, but this is just an information, dapat meron tayong enough information para sa ating mga loved ones. We call it the vital statistic. Kasi yung time na yon na maraming information na kailangan nating ibigay para ma-register natin yung death and for the government paperworks. Yun lang,
Mhm.
Joey.
Oh, maraming salamat, Ate Jacqueline. Doon sa ating mga nanonood over Zoom at mga nakikinig through the internet, yung ating pong messaging board sa Zoom, the chat comment section, doon po kayo pwedeng magtanong. Please bring in your questions habang nandito ang ating mga ate to answer your questions. Alam kong itong mga question na to, sometimes we kind of hold on to it for a long time. Walang pagkakataon. And sinong tatanungan natin? Is it our uncles, our lola, you know? So minsan yun ang mga default ng ating mga pamilya, ang tatanungan about this kind of sometimes sensitive issues. But today, we have Ate Eloisa and I have Ate Jacqueline who are very professionals about this topic. This is your opportunity to ask your questions. Please do make use of our chat section to bring in your questions. And while we're waiting for that, I have another question for you. Ate Eloisa, in the past few years, no, family prefers cremation services for the final arrangement. Can you tell why and what do we need to know before deciding on a cremation?
Yeah. Ang importante muna, maintindihan natin ang proseso ng cremation. Ganito kasi yon, yung cremation casket po na naglalaman ng body ng deceased, dinadala sa crematorium kung saan nilalagay ito sa cremation chamber. Through the application of intense heat, the body is reduced to bone, commonly known as cremated remains. And then nilalagay po ito sa urn, ready for final disposition and memorialization. Maraming nagtatanong kung kailangan pa din ba yung casket? Cremation naman. Ay opo, lahat po ng deceased under our care, we treat them with dignity. Kaya po even for direct cremation, kailangan pa rin po ng casket. At ito po ay dapat yari sa kahoy or other combustible material. Then yung cremated remains po ay pwede nang ilibing sa lupa or ilagay sa niche, which can either be indoor or outdoor setting. Cremation can be cheaper depending on the type of services selected. Kung anong pipiliin nating space sa niche kasi may level yung niche. So let's say 8 levels yan. Hindi po kamukha ng condo na as you go higher ay namamahal. So yung niche po, lalo na yung indoor, as you go eye level, yun po yung premium level, which medyo mahal ng konti. And then, depending nga rin po sa klase na urn na pipiliin nyo, at saka yung type ng memorial service na gusto ng pamilya. So, marami rin pong involved sa cremation. Ang beauty lang ng cremation is maraming options.
That's very interesting. I never knew that before. Pagka mas mataas or mas mababa sa eye level, mas mura. Pero pag eye level, ito yung premium. Tayo mga Pinoy, ang eye level natin mas mababa. Siguro nandito tayo sa mas mura.
Yeah. Normally, ang considered eye level is 4th and 5th level, kung
Ay.
hanggang 8 levels. So yung 1st and 8th, yun ang pinakamura. And then as you go eye level, yun ang
Oh, I see. Okay.
nagiging mahal.
It's very interesting because I thought, yung height nating mga Pinoy is pang 3rd level. But anyways, we have a question from, I'm sorry, I have to look at the question right here and read it um, for our speakers. Kung nag-sign na ng plan daw and while the plan is still with a balance. Pumanaw na ang isa, babayaran pa ba ang balance? That's the question. Sino pong gusto? May balance po yung plan, hindi pa tapos.
Let me answer the cemetery side. Kung sa cemetery side, kung naka 60% bayad na kayo at wala pa po kayong 66 years old at may nangyayari po sa inyo, tawad na po yung 40%. Hindi na po babayaran. Ngayon sa funeral side, maybe Jackie can answer the funeral side.
Yes, Eloisa. Salamat. So, kapag nag-sign up ho tayo ng funeral arrangement, meron ho tayong health questions. So, kung meron ho tayong, may condition ho kasi ang full coverage. Kapag meron ho na ho tayong pre-existing condition, may tinatawag ho tayong contestability period. Na halimbawa is meron po tayong pre-existing condition. So, kailangan ho nating i-follow na ma-outlive natin yung 2 years contestability period, and after 2 years, at may nangyari, full coverage na po ang ating ang ating funeral expenses. Iko-cover ho ng company yung balanse. Ngayon, kung halimbawang may pre-existing condition tayo, nangyari ho yung death before 2 years, kung magkano ho yung the amount you paid in, ibabawas lang ho yun doon sa balanse na kailangang bayaran ng family. Ngayon, yung pangalawang situation naman po natin, kung halimbawang wala tayong sakit, wala tayong pre-existing condition at nag-sign up tayo ng funeral arrangement, at may nangyari sa atin, nagkasakit at yun nga po, yung hindi inaasahan nangyari, hindi nyo na ho babayaran ng balanse. Iko-cover na ho ng company ang balance.
Oh, that's very good to know. With the same family, may pahabol na question po. And the question is, how do you help someone who is scared of talking about memorial plans? How do you help them decide to make a plan, to do a memorial plan?
So, mahirap pag-usapan yung topic about death. Kaya lang kailangan po nating isa puso na yung tamang kaalaman, buksan po natin ang isipan natin na yung tamang kaalaman sa lahat ng bagay, meron ho tayong protection sa mga right decisions natin in the future. Huwag po nating isipin na ang topic na to ay mahirap i-discuss. Kailangan lang po nating maintindihan na ang benefit tayo pong Filipino ho, sa atin importante ang benefit para sa pamilya natin. Peace of mind po ito para sa family. Kaya po ito tinatawag na sa Cementerio Family Security Program. And peace of mind naman sa funeral arrangements kung meron po tayo nito. Kasi when that thing happens na hindi po natin inaasahan, it's very chaotic. You have to make difficult decisions while you're grieving. Some family nagkakaroon sila ng financial pressure, stress, strain because hindi po kasi mura ang mga expenses dito, and we should be responsible for our own funeral expenses para hindi po naiiwan ang responsibilidad sa ating mahal sa buhay.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat. Okay, Ate
yeah.
Luza, yes?
If I may
Please.
add, kasi medyo sensitive ang issue ng pre-planning, lalo na sa medyo may edad na yung ating mga from old school, right? Although mga Pilipino, very open sa memorial plan, hindi mahirap paliwanagan ng mga Pilipino. Pero meron pa rin mga sensitive, yun nga, yung from old school. So, ang maganda is unti-untiin natin, huwag natin biglain yung ating mga lolo, nanay, tatay. So, kung hindi po sila open pa, maybe there will come a time na pagka naka-attend sila or meron silang kaibigan or kamag-anak na namatay ng hindi inaasahan, doon na open ang kanilang isipan at na open na rin na mag-prepare ahead of time.
And yeah, I think we have to have that not only cultural sensitivity but within our culture, 'di ba? Yung sensitivity din sa ating mga kamag-anak. Parang mahirap ata 'yun, yung lolo, pag-usapan natin ng inyong, right? That's not
Yeah,
a that's not
medyo
an easy.
timing, oo, proper timing kailangan.
So we need some tact as well. And a lot of there are more questions coming in, and I realize a lot of questions are actually about cultural sensitivity. And I would just like to my own question I want to add kasi nabanggit nyo noon na I can remember there's actually a plot or like an area specifically for Filipino the yung libingan ng mga pang-Pilipino. Ate Jacqueline, what are some of the Filipino rituals and customs being followed by Arbor Memorial?
Joey, marami tayong mga Filipino customs and traditions tulad ng, syempre dapat may burol. 1 or 2 days dito sa Canada. Dapat may araw ng libing, may reception during viewing day. May reception yung iba after ng interment o ng burial. So, meron din tayong mga traditions na nagbibigay ng flowers sa family, abuloy, cash abuloy, o food sa family ng namatayan. Ilan sa mga superstitious belief na talagang ino-observe namin sa mga Arbor funeral homes natin, pinuputol yung rosary ng ibang family para wala daw sumunod. Naglalagay ng lotto ticket o pera sa kamay ng namatay at kukunin nila yon bago isara ang casket. Humahakbang sa casket yung mga bata during funeral service, hindi sinusuot yung shoes ng namatay kasi maingay daw kapag dumalaw. Nagpupunta sa ibang lugar after ng funeral visit bago umuwi sa bahay. Pagpag ang tawag dito, siguro alam din ng iba nating kababayan. At lastly, hindi pwedeng tuluan ng luha ang casket. Binanggit ko lang yung ilang mga superstitious belief, customs, traditions po natin, pero hindi ho lahat ng family, kasi iba-iba ang provinces natin. Hindi ho lahat ng family sinusunod ito. Kaya lang as a Filipino cultural specialist, importante ho sa akin ang lahat ng paniniwala ng bawat pamilya masusunod at nirerespeto ko.
At least you are culturally sensitive. Tama po yun, no? That we are a diverse people. Even among Filipinos, we come from different regions, dialects, and subcultures. Napaka-importante para sa ating mga Filipino Canadian families that Arbor Memorial really knows and very sensitive to your cultural observation. Meron po tayong katanungan from our watchers and listeners, from our viewers. If a client passes daw po while vacationing sa Philippines, or elsewhere, what benefits are there to repatriate? What benefits are there to repatriate the remains of yung pumanaw na nandoon sa bakasyon? Not only in the Philippines, but let's say in Europe or in Cuba.
Yeah, actually, kung nag-sign up sila, kung may preparation sila na funeral service at nag-sign up sila ng worldwide travel protection, iyon po ay kung ikaw ay inabot sa 100 kilometers away from your residence, even within Canada, and more so outside Canada, anywhere in the world, even sa Philippines. So, ibabalik namin yung body mo back to Canada dahil dito ka ililibing. So, yun po yung peace of mind na pwede natin magawa sa ating mga sarili kung mag-sign up po tayo para sa travel protection para wala tayong intindihin pag nag-travel tayo, kung abutan tayo saan man sulok ng mundo, we can bring your body back to Canada.
Meron pong isang related question from our viewers. Parang ganun din about travel. Pero his question naman is about kung pwede naman i-transfer yung plan doon. Kung if the kababayan natin doon inabutan, doon namatay sa mga kabilang buhay sa Pilipinas, and the family is requesting na i-transfer yung plan sa Philippines. Is that possible?
So, hindi ho transferring ng yung funeral arrangement ho natin para dito lang sa sa Canada. Pero kung halimbawang may mangyayari sa Pilipinas, convertible to cash ito. Na syempre kailangan tayong may proof of death para maka-claim kung sino man yung inilagay nating beneficiary at makukuha nila yung tamang amount na sinign up nila.
Last question I have for Ate Eloisa. Ano naman ang mga popular gardens and new additions sa mga properties sa Arbor Memorial?
Meron po tayong 3 sementeryo dito sa GTA that have dedicated the garden for the Filipino communities called Himlayang Filipino Garden. Sa laki po ng clientele naming mga Pilipino, nag-dedicate na po kami ng garden para sa mga Pinoy. Pero kung hindi ka naman Pinoy, gusto mong ilibing sa Himlayang Filipino Garden, ay pwede naman po. Hindi naman po ito exclusive sa Pilipino. Kaya lang, we just wanted to give a feeling of belongingness to the communities that we serve.
Well, siguro minsan they get married to a Filipino, a wife or a Filipino husband, and the spouse kind of connect as a Filipino. And kung gusto nilang mailibing sa isang, anong pong tawag natin doon again? Pilipinong Himlayan?
Himlayang Filipino Garden.
Himlayang Filipino. It sounds so, it connects, in our emotion as Filipino people. All right. So, Director, do we continue on to the next? All right. We have one last question. What is the average cost in Canada? What is the average cost in Canada of an all-inclusive funeral service? Pahabol na question po ng audience.
So katulad nga ho ng sinabi ko kanina, kasi when you talk about funeral arrangement, mahirap ho magbigay ng presyo kasi iba-iba ho ang type ng funeral arrangement. Pero kung tatanungin niyo ako under traditional, halimbawa meron po tayong one-day viewing, again, depende ho sa casket, depende ho sa mga optional items na kukunin natin. So medyo mahirap po talagang ibigay ang costing. We would recommend na get in touch with us. Tawagan niyo po kami ni Eloisa directly. May mga ibibigay po kaming telepono at bibigyan po namin kayo ng tamang computation para sa mga funeral and cemetery arrangements po ninyo.
It's a very good answer, Ate Jacqueline. Because when I was a financial planner, ganun din yung tinatanong, no? General questions. But we need to get to know you, your family, your needs, your specific needs, and your background para mapagsilbihan sila specifically for what they need. At maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating nanood at nakinig. At most especially for our speakers for serving the community during this challenging time. Ate Eloisa and Ate Jacqueline, any parting messages for all our viewers and listeners?
Okay. Can
Ate
I go
Eloisa first?
first? Okay. Ako po ay makukontak sa mobile number ko anytime at 416-305-2865. At saka po yung email address ko po ay eramos@arbormemorial.com. Although ang branch ko po ay Glenox, I can serve anywhere within Ontario dahil ang license po namin ay para sa buong Ontario. Nakakarating po ako ng Ottawa, Windsor, Scarborough, Vaughan, anywhere po basta sa Ontario. So please do not hesitate to call me or Jackie or any of our sales representatives sa facilities namin nearest your place. And we're more than happy to serve you. At saka po, dadating po yung time, wala pong exempted, lahat tayo, dadating yung time na matatapos na tayo dito sa mundo. So it's just a question of when or kung kailan. Tumawag lang po kayo sa amin at kami po ay makakapagbigay ng expert advice sa inyo. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat at magandang gabi po.
Ate Jacqueline, any parting words, please?
So Joey, salamat. I'd like to take this opportunity para sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin na nag-participate tonight. Maraming salamat po sa pagbibigay ng oras ninyo para makinig sa amin. Sana marami po kayong naiuwing mga information. Marami sana kayong natutunan na pwede nyong i-share sa inyong mga friends at saka families. Kung nais ho nyo, if you want to get more information, please get in touch with me and Eloisa. Yung phone number ho, nakita nyo siguro, 647-862-2334. Telepono ko po. Pwede nyo po akong i-text or tawagan directly. Ang email address ko ho is jtayag@arbormemorial.com. Ngayong panahon po ng pandemic, yung iba hindi komportable sa mga meeting in person. Pwede ho tayong gumawa ng paraan, Face Messenger, Zoom, kung saan po kayo komportable. And katulad nga ng sabi ni Eloisa, kung nagtatrabaho man siya sa Glen Oaks at ako man ay nagtatrabaho man ako sa Pine Ridge, pwede ho namin kayong pagsilbihan kahit na anong parte ng Ontario. Yun lamang po. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Joey. And
Maraming salamat, Ate Eloisa, and maraming salamat, Ate Jacqueline, and everybody who's listening to us. Ganyan po ang ating mga kababayan na tutugon sa inyong mga katanungan at sa inyong mga inquiries about Arbor Memorial. Marami po tayong mga kababayan doon that you can feel very comfortable to talk to. At sumunod po sa ating social media at Facebook, nandyan yung at Arbor Memorial, Instagram at Arbor Memorial, at sa YouTube din mapapanood ang at Arbor Memorial 1947. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating nakinig at nanood at sa ating mga speakers. God bless and have a good night to you all. And director, please roll film. Maraming salamat po.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
right, and maraming salamat. Thank you.